Lewis Hamilton's first race with Ferrari didn't quite go as planned, but the British driver is already eager to solve the SF25's problems before the upcoming Chinese Grand Prix. While expectations are high, team principal Vassar is optimistic that the Maranello squad will show its true potential. He noted that in Australia we didn't see the real Ferrari and that in China they start from scratch. So could we witness Hamilton taking a podium spot in just his second race with Ferrari, with the event being a sprint? Can Ferrari recover from the setbacks of the season opener? There's no denying the team stumbled early, missing out on a strong qualifying and failing in strategy at a crucial moment. But that's behind them now. Ferrari is keenly anticipating the chance to compete on a track significantly different from Melbourne, with varying downforce needs and weather conditions. They believe this shift could finally turn their luck around in the 2025 season. Vassar is certain that we'll see the true face of the team in Shanghai, urging fans to forget about the Australian Grand Prix. However, moving on might not be easy, as poor communication between Ricciardo, Adami and Hamilton also needs serious attention. Looking at Ferrari's recent history, it's clear they've consistently avoided panic and sensational media statements. Vassar's biggest asset is his ability to adapt, which is crucial because Ferrari struggles the most when track conditions change. The Ferrari car has a hard time adjusting when the track shifts from one state to another. In China, the track conditions shouldn't fluctuate as wildly as they did in Melbourne. However, Ferrari is pinning its hopes not just on dry weather in Shanghai. Notably, during Leclerc's practice session, his performance was stronger than during actual qualifying, highlighting where the Maranello team fell short in Melbourne. If Ferrari can regroup in China, manage to preserve their tyres until the third sector on a cooler track compared to Australia, we might witness an impressive performance from the SF25. They are currently trying to catch up to McLaren, a team setting high standards regardless of the conditions. Yet, at the start of the season, we expected Ferrari to be McLaren's main competition. Expressing optimism, Hamilton remarked on the car's potential by reflecting on Melbourne and what lies ahead, saying the vehicle has much more capability than they demonstrated there. This situation is pretty typical of many elements in Ferrari's performance. It starts with the communication between the seven-time world champion and his engineer and goes all the way to the decision-making process. It's not ideal to have someone in your ear suggesting that the rain might stay the same or stop while they have a clear radar in front of them. Meanwhile, Leclerc was accurately told to expect heavy rain for a few laps, which was the complete opposite of the info Hamilton received. If the team on the pit wall can't clearly communicate with the drivers or manage separate strategies, they can't suddenly expect miraculous outcomes. Reflecting on past races and what lies ahead in China, Vassar commented, "This weekend was quite challenging for various reasons. The track isn't permanent, which makes the grip unpredictable, and the overall race conditions were tough. It was one of the hardest weekends to handle. It wasn't shocking, but it certainly wasn't a great weekend for us. However, we're shifting our focus to next week and learning from our mistakes. We need to enhance our communication and figure out exactly what Lewis needs from it. Only then can we be in a better position. I believe we'll see significant improvement next week." This is what Ferrari should aim for, because despite the disappointing race in Melbourne, it's not acceptable to be out-qualified by teams like Williams and Racing Bulls. One of our cars shouldn't be stuck behind them, unable to overtake on true racing skill alone. Ferrari has to step up its game quickly, starting in Shanghai, as there's no time to waste. Fixing the communication issues between the race engineer and the driver, particularly between Hamilton and Adami, could transform our team entirely. Hamilton acknowledged Ricciardo's efforts, stating that Ricciardo did nothing wrong. It's just a matter of fine-tuning their collaboration. Hamilton noted, "I think Ricciardo did a really good job. We're gradually getting to know each other better. After this, we'll review everything, looking at all the comments we exchanged. Typically, I don't like having too much information during the race unless I need it. Then I'll ask." Despite this, he did his best in the race and will keep moving forward. During the race, it was clear that Lewis was frustrated with the information he received from his race engineer, particularly regarding the K1 button. However, Adami was simply trying to assist Lewis as he adjusted to the challenging conditions. Racing in the rain for the first time was likely not what Lewis had hoped for. Additionally, the car's setup took a hit and will need a major revamp before the next race. Thankfully, this shouldn't be too much of a problem for Ferrari because of the track conditions. With the forecast promising steady weather and no rain, the Maranello team can aim for a stellar setup, allowing their drivers to push their cars to the limit. Lewis, on the other hand, wants to see changes in the setup as soon as possible. He mentioned that his main focus is on boosting confidence. From Friday, he didn't feel secure, especially in high-speed sections, which left him lagging. By Saturday, his confidence grew, but when the race came, he had to start over, lacking assurance for most of it. He found both the settings and the car tricky, noting he'd prefer to set things up quite differently. Meanwhile, expectations are sky high for Leclerc, despite a heated exchange with his race engineer Brian Bozzi, which highlighted Ferrari's long-standing competitive struggles. The main takeaway from the Melbourne Grand Prix is to leave it behind and focus on the next challenge. Leclerc is confident about a new version of the car performing at its best in Shanghai, as the track conditions and circuit layout should suit the SF25 far better than Melbourne's did. It was initially thought that the Melbourne Grand Prix's characteristics would play to the strengths of the Maranello team, but that wasn't the case at all. We remain cautious until we see Leclerc and Hamilton leading in practice sessions, sprint and race qualifiers in the upcoming days. Reflecting on what didn't go as planned in Melbourne and the changes needed for the next race, Leclerc commented, "The race was challenging overall, but we're going to analyse it. This was just the first race of the season. It wasn't the start we wanted, but as we look ahead, we need to get inspired for Shanghai and bounce back from a disappointing debut. The McLaren had incredible speed, even more so than on Saturday. We need to study what happened, though we're at a slight disadvantage. But remember, this was only the first of 24 races. We have plenty more opportunities, so it's important to stay composed and focus on moving in the right direction." A major topic of discussion is the new FIA directive set to be implemented starting from the Shanghai event, and we're all curious about how it will affect the teams. Red Bull suggests that we should particularly watch McLaren and Ferrari. The directive tightens the rules on the mini DRS innovation by reducing the rear slot's opening limit from 2mm to 0.5. In China, there's a 0.25 tolerance due to the rule's late introduction. However, from the Suzuka event onwards, the 0.5mm limit will be strictly enforced, and exceeding it could lead to disqualification. With these changes, do you think Ferrari will step up their game in Shanghai? And since it's a sprint event, can they recover from the setbacks they faced in Melbourne? Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. See you in the next video.